Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It's Thursday morning. I want to continue my series on albums you need to listen to, and I think I've chosen a doozy for this one. Before I get started, coffee on my new Tim Hortons mug that I won a week ago at our Christmas party. I wouldn't have normally bought it. I don't really go to Tim Hortons much anymore. Because of there's a number of reasons, but I won't get into those. Um, just trying to cut the habit. It's definitely a habit. Um, I make a pot of coffee at home, and I usually end up leaving half of it there. So I decided to bring it with me and start to save some money as well by again spending money on coffee every day. Um, and not to put anything against anyone that does, it's just not my thing anymore. So, excuse me. Before I get started, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there and be informative and show you guys some of these great bands and artists that I have in my collection. So the album you need to listen to is the Yes album by the great band Yes. This is the LP version, obviously. There's also a remastered CD version, which I may pick up. I love collecting remastered CDs for a number of reasons. I try to save my vinyl, even though I love listening to it. Um, Sometimes because of the players that I have, I can throw like 5 CDs into my player and play music all day, depending on obviously the size of the CD. The vinyl itself is in great shape, not a nick or a scratch on it. It sounds wonderful. I've got a fair amount of Yes in my collection. I think they're an amazing band. They've become one of my all-time favorite bands. Um, Very unique style. Some easy listening, some not so easy listening. Some it takes a couple of listens to get um, uh, into the album like Relayer, which is an amazing album, but it takes a couple listens to get into. 90125, awesome album. Um, uh, there's so many great albums by Yes. Fragile is a wonderful album, and this one is pretty darn good as well. Um, so this was their third studio album, again by one of my all-time favorite bands in Yes. Yes features John Anderson in vocals, very unique, very amazing vocal style. The great Chris Squire on bass and vocals. Steve Howe, a remarkable guitarist, one of the tops in his field. He plays guitar and also vocals as well. And Tony Kaye on piano, organ, and moog, and Bill Buford on drums. Um, this album was released in 1971, and it was also the first to feature Steve Howe. Um, it also was the first time their albums didn't feature any cover songs. It was a major breakthrough for Yes. They were just about to be dropped from their label, as the first 2 albums didn't do that great, and because of this album, it was one of their most commercially successful albums at the time. It reached number 4 in the UK, number 40 in the States, and then it hit platinum, selling over 1 million albums. I think the addition of Steve Howe to the band had a big influence on it. His style, his playing, his versatility in his playing between acoustic, electric, different styles, country styles, folk styles, different instruments. I think it had a lot to do with the success of the band and the reinsurgence of the greatness of this band, for sure. Also features great 3-part harmony between John Anderson, Steve Howe, and Chris Squire. Also, Squire's bass and Bill Bruford's drums made for a great rhythm section as well. Some great songs on the album. The remaster version has a couple of extra tracks on it, and I'll get that eventually. But I'm quite satisfied with this album for sure. So it starts off the album with "Yours Is No Disgrace." Written by John Anderson and David Foster, the famous producer. Great opening riff by Howe, and Chris Squire's organs kick in as well. Great track to start off the album with. Next one is The Clap. It was influenced by country great Chet Atkins' Classical Gas. It was written to celebrate the birth of Steve Howe's son in 1969. It's also a live version on the album. It's all instrumental. Amazing guitarist Steve Howe plays on it. And again, if you listen to it, it does sound like Chet Atkins quite a bit. Next one on there is Star Trooper. It's a spacey electric sound made by running the guitar tracks through what's called a flanger. A 3-part song as well. It evolved from a song Neller Street by Steve Howe's earlier group Broadcast. There's 3 parts to the song. Part A is Your Move. Part B is Disillusion. And Part C is Worm, W-U-R-M. Next one is a famous song of these guys, I've Seen All Good People. It's a mixture of 2 tunes. Starts off fairly quietly with great harmonies and leads into this huge sounding song. Steve Howe plays a Portuguese 12-string guitar in it as well. Just an amazing sound. Very been all the classic rock radio stations, and classic song. Next one is A Venture. Features a great jazzy piano solo near the end of the song. I don't know if I can find it or not, but Howe did play a solo in the original song, but they decided to stick with the piano solo. It was never played live until they decided to do a whole album in their live version in 2013. Number 6, and the final track on the album, is A Perpetual Change, written by John Anderson. It was inspired by a view from his cottage at Churchill, and it featured 2 different track signatures, and then they played them simultaneously. Great album. Only 6 songs on the album, but 6 great songs. It's a great listen. I highly recommend it, and definitely an album you need to listen to. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.